disclaimer.
We're diving right into the community updates. You guys already know this is the OFC community updates where we bring you the past, the present, and the future community news. Again, for those who do not know, OFC stands for One Full Circle, the Melanated Community Network. And as I abbreviate it, we're basically here to support, unite, and economically empower. You guys already know what time it is. So so first I had mentioned it just quickly at the top of the show. We had this past weekend we had the memorial for Brother Sheffield Matthews. So
rest in power, King.
Rest in superpower. For those who do not know, just very quick context.
Who is Sheffield Matthews?
Sheffield Matthews was a brother from NDG. He was suffering from mental health. As they said, he was under crisis. I shouldn't even say mental health. He was a brother in crisis.
Okay.
And this was about 10 days ago. It was a couple of weeks ago, Thursday. And there was a call made to 911. It was about 6 a.m. The police showed up. They said that he had a knife. He approached them, but they were in the car, so they were okay.
A knife, not a katana.
No, a knife, yeah. And then he was approaching other people in a car, and when they were also in a car, windows up. And when the police saw that, they had no other choice but to get out their cars and shoot him.
So they say.
So they say, allegedly. So.
And you spoke to the chief. Why? Because you got that plug.
Well, you know how it is. Like,
talk that talk.
So I got a call directly because it was kind of gross at the time, in my opinion, because they were doing damage control. Really? Like, I found out directly from them before social media. That's just tell you. Like, before anybody, it was weird, right? So I get this call and they tell me, okay, we did this. And I was like, just bringing it forward. Okay, we did this. And then when I spoke to other community leaders and community builders, I came to find out that other police departments were doing this. So it's like they spoke together. Damage control. They're like, we might have a riot on our hands. Let's just make sure that we're appeasing the people. Big Poppy show. Long story short, we won't super dive into it because it was like super annoying. It's even annoying to think about and talk about.
Yeah.
But they explained why they couldn't shoot him in the arm and the leg. So for those who are questioning,
tell them, Pharaoh.
They're trained to shoot the biggest part of the body because cops get scared too, according to what the detective said. So cops get scared too, and what happens is that they can't see, they can't hear, so they're trained to aim at the largest part of the body, which is the chest. Why they didn't
the largest black part of the body?
Thank you. Why they didn't use a taser? They didn't have any. Just come ça.
Of course not.
No, but taser. Gee, c'est comme ça.
Cameras and tasers are optional on black bodies.
Right.
Yep. They couldn't use rubber bullets. They didn't have any.
Optional on black bodies.
Yeah. Okay. No. And actually going to the taser part, they're like, and some people don't want tasers. I was like, who said that? Who said they would prefer to get shot over tased? Who said that? Because I know I didn't say that. So anyways, the point is
the audacity.
Yes.
We're just so we're gonna move forward. So we had this conversation and they really just blew our minds. I have to say, our own Sheffield Matthews has become our George Floyd, because as a result of that shooting, there's been a collective of about 90 organizations that we had an email thread. We've been discussing collectively. We had a meeting even last week, Thursday, on what are we going to do collectively to empower our community. So I want the community at large to just rest assured knowing that we're working as a collective. And what we see as one of the priorities right now is intervention, is basically an intermediate between the police and our community.
Correct.
So we're blessed to have Michael Smith, who's a former president of the Jamaica Association, who used to be a liaison for the police and the community. And it was a program that worked very well. He couldn't even explain why they stopped it. He was like, he diffused so many situations that could have went lethal, and they stopped it. And they made it an internal thing instead of engaging community. But anyways, that's not what we're here for. We're not diving into all of that.
Wow.
So that's what we're actively working on, just to be able to create that and enforce that. Because right now, guys, as we just heard Sue Montgomery explaining, it's a dirty game out there.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It's hard in these streets. Yeah. And there was a march this weekend. Was that your initiative?
It wasn't us. No. So that was Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives what?
That's it. I think we have Black Lives Matter Montreal. I think.
Wait a second. Okay. We have a Black Lives Matter chapter in Montreal?
Yeah, we're going to say, yeah.
Is it a real Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, like who's running that?
I don't, you guys asking too many questions. What is it, interrogation, guys?
No, I'm just saying.
I don't know, guys.
Is it like the Nike switch on the other
Right?
side
You
when you
just
go to
kinda seem like you're in a
Morocco, or
flag,
like
so
this?
we're
Like,
asking you.
like is it
No,
like
no.
It's
switched up Nike sign or
No,
Adidas sign?
I came to find
Is it a
out.
real Black
Is
Lives
it-
Matter?
Yeah. Is it
I
the wish
was
version?
not aware of the march. Just to tell you, I am very connected within our community. I like to say people do call me. I get messages.
You got 0 calls?
Zero calls. I had no idea it was happening. I just found out kind of while we were setting up to do
How
the
many
memorial.
people? How many people showed up?
I couldn't tell you. I know Sue was there. Big shout out to Sue. She was there.
Sue
She
was there,
supported.
okay.
Because I know that when you organized the march, which I attended,
Yeah.
there was 100,000 people. Clap for the 100,000.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm not making this into a competition. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Facts. No, that's it. But it's. I guess they had their own agenda. They want their voice to be heard. And you guys know me all the time. I'm big on balance. So if they want to get their voice heard and they want to bring it however they want to bring it, they're welcome to do it.
How did the testimonies goes? How did they go? Were they good? Not good? Did you hear anything?
All I heard is they were angry. That's the best way I could put it. They were angry. They were demanding change. They're demanding defunding the police completely, like abolishing the police.
Abolishing the police?
Well, defunding them completely to them not existing. I think that's a little.
Best
What do you think, Trish?
No, not the best resolution. Not completely. I don't think so. Not at all.
I'm big on reallocating funds,
Correct.
maybe
Facts.
tasers and rubber bullets, but
Balance, like you guys said, yeah.
and funding like liaisons and different things like
Right.
that. Again, I just don't think it makes sense to abolish them completely.
I think when you talk about abolishment of police, a lot of times you got to look at who's asking for the abolishment of the
Exactly.
police. Because if you go in certain, I grew up in Hochelaga, Maisonneuve, Saint Michel, Montreal North. You could talk to some citizens there, especially some mothers and fathers, older generation. You tell them there ain't gonna be no police ever.
Wow.
They would tomorrow. They would probably be not okay with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm for defunding all the way, like aggressively. But I want to touch on something before we move away from King Sheffield. I want to touch on the fact that Sheffield is most likely a victim of generational trauma in this. I think we don't talk about the generational trauma caused by slavery. And I also read that King Sheffield was going through financial issues.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was literally stricken by poverty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are quick to have these war on drugs, these war on gang violence, but where are the wars on poverty?
Thank you.
Why are our
Absolutely.
politicians so corrupted that they cannot fight hard to tackle poverty? And like Malcolm X said, there is no capitalism without slavery. Capitalism is a product of slavery, and you could do the vice versa analogy if you want. So if we understand this, this is dangerous because King Sheffield is then a double victim.
Right.
He has mental health based on the generational trauma passed down in his bloodline, and this generational trauma on top of capitalism literally bringing him down into a poverty kind of situation has taken this man away. So we need to wake the F up
Talk about it.
as black people. We need to fight capitalism in an aggressive way. We need to practice what I like to call conscious capitalism. And more importantly, do not let them fool you and bamboozle you about, oh yeah, but you were not a slave and I never was a slave owner. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody
Talk
brings
about
that up, shut your mouth. Tell them to shut their pie hole. I'm trying to be
Their
very,
pie
very,
hole.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, morning. Yeah,
So-
I appreciate that.
So may he rest in forever power, Sheffield Matthews. Prayers go to the family. And next time, people, if you're going to have marches, be inclusive.
yeah.
Include the whole community. You don't like me, don't like Farrell, don't like Trish. It don't matter. It's not about you.
Thank
It's not
you.
about your black ass. This is about a man that died at the end of systemic racism, bigotry, and capitalism. So next time, try to be a bit more inclusive because I learned about it like 24 hours before it happened.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, that's it. And so, so we had the memorial on the Saturday. Big shout out to Caniesta from the Earth Center. She brought it to us, so we collaborated. So it was OFC as well as Caniesta. It was exceptional. Big shout out to the community. We did it over Facebook, Zoom, and then broadcasted on Facebook. So we had people join us. We had Audley Coley, Jerry Alexander. People gave awesome speeches. We had an amazing song sung. It was the energy was just exceptional. The spirit led. You know what I mean? So it was something that it was necessary. You know, and we wanted to make it known that this is something like the family wasn't involved in, because we understand that they're still grieving, but as a community we're responsible to our brother, and we have to do that to acknowledge the loss of our brother, and also as spiritualists as well we have to acknowledge the transcension of the spirit. So these are things that we found it was super important to get done. So again, we're grateful to the community. You guys can check it out on our page, the Empower Hour on Facebook. We've shared it on our page, and you guys could definitely check it out. So that's what happened this past weekend. Also, I want to give a shout out, just remembering our boy Bob White, November 4th. He passed away,
Bobby.
2016, at the age of 81. And I have to acknowledge him, just because he had called me one time, and he's like, yeah, you're doing this community stuff? It's a waste of time.
Oh.
What?
Like direct.
He told it to you raw like this?
Yo, Bob White. Everybody who
No
knows,
foreplay, nothing?
It was one of our first conversations. I didn't even know who the man
Why the
was
word
officially.
foreplay?
Just so you
I'm
guys
just
know.
saying.
He hit me with the super real. So he came with it, bam, just dropped it on. I was like, okay. But unlike a lot of these people, quote unquote, people in the community, who like to criticize at times but don't come with any solution, he came with BR solutions after. He's like,
Gotcha.
look, he's like, the reason I'm telling you that, he's like, because you need to be more economically focused. Second, what Tilky just said. Second, what the OFC does, like economically empower the community. So he's like, look, what you're going to do, he's like, you're going to start fundraising. He's like, you're going to connect with George Grant from Bassard Bagel. You're
Shout
gonna
out
ask
to
him,
George.
Big shout out. You're going to ask him to sponsor bagels for you. You're going to take those bagels, and then you're going to go to community centers, and you're going to go to churches, and you're going to sell them. He's like, and you're going to continue to do that, and you're going to branch out people and send people to different churches all over the place and selling bagels. He's
That's
like,
a definition of hustling.
That's what's
People
up.
in our community think
Yeah.
hustling is selling drugs. Hustling is flipping $1.
Thank you.
Yep.
So,
Ultimately,
big
flip.
shout out for everybody who didn't know. Definitely, you want to pull up some of the community contact archives so that you can see some of Bob White's amazing articles.
Shout out to Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Take care, Bob.
Go Bob. All right, so my turn. Okay, anyways, so I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. So now we're gonna shout out some Black Girl Magic. Prix de la Danse Montréal awarded to Ethel Bruno, artist and educator,
Hey.
as 2020 laureate. So do you guys know who Ethel Bruno is?
No idea,
But
but
give
I'm
her a
clapping.
clap anyway, because I gotta tell you guys who she is.
Yep.
So if you don't know, affectionately nicknamed Miss Swing and the Queen of Dancing, Ethel Bruno has an outstanding career as an artist and teacher, performer, choreographer, and teacher for 70 years, you guys, 70 years. She is
Hey.
35 years, well, older than me. Okay, this multi-talented figure is dedicated with passion and excellence to her art. She embodies a luminous, committed, and inspiring artistic approach, whether on stage alongside the greatest artists of her generation, but also in the studio with thousands of students of all ages to this day, whom she passes on her love and knowledge of tap dancing. Throughout her career, she has influenced generations of amateur and professional dancers and has made Montreal a major top dance destination. Ethel Bruno has made dance history in Quebec, and we are very grateful and proud that this Harlem-born artist chose to settle, perform, and teach in Montreal in the 1950s. You guys know how to tap dance?
I do not. I my parents used to want me to take classes.
I used to want to know how to tap dance because they used to do it on Sesame Street.
Good point. I never.
Next up, we have filmmaker Henry Pardo, creator of Black Wealth Matters. Hey, he's releasing...
Black Wealth Media, actually.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Releasing a Carnival, a project supported by Netflix and the Canadian Film Center. That's
Netflix, Trish?
Netflix. Now, Netflix is hard to get onto, so good for him.
So you telling me we're going to be able to Netflix and chill on Black content from Canada, from Montreal?
Absolutely, we're gonna be
That's
able to do that.
awesome.
I guess we're just waiting for the date and stuff like that. But I am looking forward to that.
Shout out to Henri.
Yes, Henri.
So big shout out Alvina Ryan. She has released a book. I Pray on Purpose because
That's the title?
That's the title,
I
G.
like that.
I love this title.
prayers for
that.
faith, hope, victory, and deliverance.
Shout out to that title. I pray on purpose because. I
Thank you.
love that.
So you guys definitely want to check it out. Support our sister. You can go onto the website, thevangroup.com. Definitely just search the book. I Pray on Purpose because.
Hey.
Period.
Alvina Ryan, and I have to say I have to big her up because she's very dedicated. She's been in the community, just pushing and just doing her thing, and so anyway, she's a really cool sister, and I want to just encourage her, and I encourage you guys to check it out, and we'll plug it on our page as well, so you guys can definitely check it out there for shiz.